What's really happening in this election? Kamala Harris has been relentlessly attacking Donald Trump, but the polls aren't showing the results her campaign expected. With Trump comfortably leading in several key states, uncomfortable questions arise. Are the Democratic-aligned media manipulating the narrative? Could this be another 2016 scenario, where Hillary Clinton was the predicted winner, but Trump shocked everyone with a victory? Today, the numbers tell a very different story than what the Democrats want us to believe. Could this be yet another electoral surprise? Trump, with 54.8% in the polls compared to 44.8% for Kamala Harris, appears to be in a stronger position than many expected. Harris has been at the forefront of an aggressive campaign, focusing on damaging Trump's image through constant attacks on his political record, behavior, and leadership capabilities. But something doesn't add up. The numbers don't reflect the success her team was hoping for in their attempt to smear Trump. And that's not all. Media outlets aligned with Harris's campaign seem to be amplifying these attacks, shaping public opinion to skew in favor of the Democratic candidate. Are the Democratic media outlets bought? The question becomes inevitable when we observe how the news is being handled. Trump's mistakes and controversies are constantly highlighted, while Harris enjoys more favorable coverage. Her weaknesses are downplayed, and every misstep seems to be ignored or softened. Curiously, despite this media treatment, the numbers paint a different picture. Trump continues to lead in states like Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, while Harris appears unable to make significant gains. Why aren't the voters following the script that the media wants to sell us? This scenario is eerily reminiscent of what happened in 2016, when Hillary Clinton was the favorite in almost every poll. Experts in the media projected her as the next president of the United States, only for Donald Trump to win in a shocking upset. No one expected it, and the predominantly Democrat-friendly polls failed miserably. What's interesting is that the parallels between 2016 and 2024 don't stop at polling errors. The media strategy seems to follow similar patterns as well. In 2016, many outlets downplayed warnings about the real support Trump had among key segments of the population, particularly working-class voters in the Midwest. Today, those same outlets appear to be ignoring clear signs that Trump still commands strong backing in those areas. Meanwhile, Harris seems to be losing support in demographics that had previously favored Democrats. Polls show that Latino voters, who were crucial to Democratic victories in states like Nevada and Arizona, are divided in their support for Harris. Trump, on the other hand, has managed to gain a significant portion of this electorate with his rhetoric on the economy and border control. If this trend continues, it could be decisive in November. Another factor that cannot be overlooked is the economy. Trump has been focusing on current economic issues, using inflation and high prices as weapons against the Democratic administration. Despite Harris's efforts to shift the narrative towards issues like social justice and climate change, it seems that voters are more concerned about the impact inflation has on their daily lives. This gives Trump a considerable edge in his campaign, as many Americans still remember the pre-pandemic years when the economy was in a better state under his administration. Although Harris's strategy of constant attacks on Trump may generate headlines and social media buzz, the question remains, how effective is it really? The poll market numbers, reflecting 54.8% for Trump and 44.8% for Harris, suggest that things are not as clear-cut as they seem. Can we trust the polls that favor Harris, or are we once again facing a media distortion that aims to create a narrative in her favor? The pro-Democrat media narrative is so deeply embedded that some people are beginning to question whether traditional media is playing an active role in influencing the election's outcome, just as it did in 2016. Major outlets like CNN and MSNBC seem to make a constant effort to discredit Trump while highlighting every positive aspect of Harris's campaign. This differential treatment, although not new in politics, feels sharper than ever. Trump's support seems to have grown significantly, particularly in key states that decide the Electoral College. In Georgia, where Trump holds 64%, and Pennsylvania, where he leads with 53%, it is clear that the economic policies he promotes resonate with a significant portion of the electorate. On the other hand, Harris has struggled to mobilize young and progressive voters in the way Democrats had anticipated. This raises the question, is the Democratic Party once again underestimating its Republican rival, just as it did with Hillary Clinton in 2016? In fact, in the latest national surveys, Trump continues to rise in the polls, while Harris struggles to maintain a lead, even in traditionally Democratic states like Michigan. This state, which played a key role in Trump's surprise victory in 2016, is showing similar trends in 2024, with the electorate almost evenly divided between the two candidates. So, the question is clear, what is really going on? Are we about to witness another electoral surprise, like in 2016? While the media continues to paint Harris as the logical choice, Trump continues to gain ground in the polls. As we've seen before, numbers can speak much louder than any smear campaign or media manipulation. As the electoral campaign advances, Kamala Harris's strategy seems focused on discrediting Trump at all costs. However, the reality is that voters remain deeply skeptical of the narrative presented by traditional media. Are we truly heading for another 2016, where polls and the media once again fail to predict what voters really think? This election is far from over, and with so many variables at play, the next few weeks could bring even more surprises. One thing is certain, current polls and media bias don't tell the full story, and as always, Election Day will be the true judge of who has the pulse of the electorate.